Hi guys, it's Randee for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today with gonna make a little project utilizing our safari kit from SoftFlex. Okay, so I just unboxed it, and as soon as I seen it, this design popped into my head. It's quite the design. We're gonna see if we can make it. I did not make a plan for this kit because I feel like I'm just going to. I think I know what I want to do, and I'm just going to make it happen. So we're going to jump down to the mat, get this party started. All right, guys, here we are on the mat. Oh, I just bumped the table. Here we are on the mat with Safari from SoftFlex. So here's everything that they gave us in the kit. Also is here on the mat. And my idea that I want to make, and I'm just going to start cutting strands apart, is I had this, as soon as I saw this, when I opened it up, I had this idea that I was going to make this necklace. And this necklace is basically just going to be all of these beads, but I want to make them, it's going to be a chunky necklace, right? Because where do you go on safari, right? Probably like, I would say it's probably like African inspired, right? And so it's going to be a chunky, some kind of, I don't have this part figured out yet. It's going to be a, like a cording, some kind of big chunky cording. And I want to make all of these little circles. I'm going to take all these beads and I'm going to make these little circles that I could then string onto this chunky cord to create one necklace. So I'm super excited about it. I don't know if I'm going to, I don't really know. I haven't made a plan. I didn't sketch it out. I'm just literally, we're just going to jump into it because I'm in this new thing where I'm just like, I want to do what I want. I want to just do what I want. So we're going to do what I want and we're going to see how it works out. Okay. So this is, by the way, a design on the fly. There no rhyme or reason to this. We're just going with it. They said we needed everything we could possibly need to make this, so here we go. Look at all that beady goodness. Look at that. There it is. There it is. By the way, all the stuff is linked down in the description of this video, but if you need to check SoftFlex out, www.softflexcompany.com. Give them a look-see. Okay. I'm going to put that over here, and we are going to jump right into whatever stuff that I got going on. So I'm not going to concentrate on the little animals right now. I might dangle the little animals off on their own is kind of the plan. So I'm just going to put all them little animals in here. Also, I'm not really concerned about these guys because I will probably utilize these for my matching earrings for the necklace, right? So not worried about that. Also, put those in here. Not worried about that. This I can probably use once I figure out what cording I'm going to use. We do have some crimp tubes. Okay, we might need those. I'm going to take those out of here. Come on out. Come on out. You're going to be a beautiful necklace. There we go. Okay. So, there's a couple of ways that we could do this. But since they have provided the SoftFlex wire, I'm going to do it on wire. Now, there's a couple of ways that in my head, when I was thinking about the logistics of this just now, I was like, oh, well, I could do these on stretchy wire because then I could stretch them on, be easy to tie the knots, la-di-da. But since SoftFlex has provided us this wonderful bone-colored medium, we're going to go ahead and use this. So we are going to need our crimp tubes. And, all right. I found some 3mm leather black cording. It's quite large. And I found this little piece of scrap leather. I don't know what the millimeter is on this. I want to say it's like a 5. I might even double this up. That's quite enough. I don't know that it would need to be doubled up. but maybe. Let's give her a cut, see what happens. No, I think I'm just gonna go with one. I mean, 2 is fine, but if you want to go with 2, go with 2. I just don't think that that's gonna be needed because it's probably just gonna roll. So let me get my tape measure here and I'll tell you how long this is. And this guy, 9.5 inches. And I don't know exactly how much of the 3mm we're going to quite need yet, but this one's 9.5 inches. This is going to be the base of our necklace. So I'm going to start making these little rounds of beads. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to make rings and then I'm going to string them onto here. Okay, so this might also be a good time to maybe bring in some of your bead soup. I'm going to zoom out actually a little bit. This might be a good time to bring in some of your bead soup and utilize that as well. However, I'm going to make as many, I think I'll have enough to make what I need here, but we'll see what happens. I also have these crimp tubes. These are Tiara cast crimp tubes that will fit on the 3mm black leather. Now, if you didn't have something like this, you could use a glue-on one, or you could wire wrap the end, whatever you need to do. But I did have those on hand, so we're going to jump into making our first little bit of stuff here. So I'm not going to need that much wire. I'm just going to cut it. And we're going to start on the first one. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick whatever beads I feel I want to. And we are going to go from there. There's no real rhyme or reason to this for these first couple. And then we are going to make some that do have a rhyme or reason to them to kind of bring everything together. Put a spacer on. Put these guys. Okay. So now I don't want this to be super tight around the leather, but I also don't want it to be too loose. So I'm kind of just eyeballing it here. Let's see. Try one more bead. See what we got. I don't like that those two are together on the end, so I'll put another one. Okay. Yeah. It's actually probably a little bit much. So I'm going to take this one off. Because we are going to crimp it too, and we're going to need room for that. Perfect. So I am going to switch these two around just because I don't like this little one on the end for where I might need to do crimping. Okay. And I'm going to make sure I got my crimper tool. And then I'm going to take a crimp bead. Okay, thread that crimp bead on one side and like so. I think I'm going to go through another bead here. Oh, I should let you know that Thunderhorse Descendant is a working studio, so Shannon is here, and if you hear some noise going on, don't worry, that's just work happening. Just work happening, no need to be alarmed. Oh. Alright, get through there, this one through there. Now I should be able to get a hold of both sides and pull. All right, now we're in it. So now I can crimp it. So I'm going to come in here to the middle one and make sure I have as much slack out as I can get. And I'm going to crimp. We're going to be master crimpers when this is all said and done. Crimp is good. You go in here, give it a snip, go in here, get a snip, and there we go. We have one little guy. Now there's a little bit excess wire on this one, and I don't want that necessarily, so I am going to find myself a bead cover, and we are looking at, what do we got? Gold? We got gold. Alright, so I'm just going to grab out some 3mm gold crimp covers, and this is just for if I screw up and leave too much space or something, that I can fill that space up. I'm not worried about it. So in order to do that, I'm going to come over to where my crimp is, which is here. And you could crimp over the top of your crimp cover if you want to. It's not necessarily a have to kind of do. But I'm going to crimp next to this bead here. Well, not crimp. I'm going to put my bead cover on, just on the wire. Get out of the way here. And then I'm going to make that bead close up like that, so that it looks like just a bead that's, okay, come on, just a bead that's part of this. Now that's one crimp cover, so that should be good. These don't have to be super perfect. You're just going to thread them on like so, and I'm just going to make some more of these. So I'll show you one more time. Let me get a little bit of wire. Now on this one, I might make this one all, you know, one kind of bead, because why not? So just thread these on. Okay. Now the different kind of beads, you probably are going to have different size. It's going to affect how big the loop is. We need it to be about that big. Okay, if we put on another one, that would be too much. So I'm going to put on my crimp cover. Crimp bead, jeepers creepers. I'm having trouble today. And I'm going to go through this bead here. Okay, get a hold of that tail, and then I'm going to go back through the crimp bead over here. And creating these little links, or these little circles, rings, whatever you want to call them. Doesn't have to be super perfect or complex. You just gotta make a little ring. Okay. So I'm gonna zoom in on this one, and we are going to crimp it. Crimp. Then we're going to spin it into the first one. Crimp it. Easy peasy. Now, if you wanted to do this with string and just tie knots, you could totally do that too. Again, I'm just using the wire they provided because they provided it. You do whatever you think is best. So now we have two. Okay. So now this one looks a little bit like, this is going to be one of those rings that brings everything together because it's all one bead. So it's not going to be so much craziness going on. So I'm just going to keep doing this and making more rings until I have enough to either fill this up or get close. It doesn't have to be completely filled up. You can make as many as you feel like making. That's all I got to do. And we're just going to keep doing that. So I'm going to fast forward you guys because this is going to take a little while. I'm going to make all these rings and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, here's how I'm going to do these double hold ones. So I'm going to just take one piece of the string that's about, that's probably about 8 to 10 inches I suppose. I probably won't need that much, but I'm going to marry up the ends on there, and then I'm just going to bring this down all the way to the end. My camera seems really blown out right now. Okay, and then I'm just going to put on some more beads right onto the ends here. Beading. I got 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to use 6 beads. So right here, once I get the 5th bead on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of the crimp tubes and put 1 crimp tube on each strand, like this. Okay. Then I'm going to take my last bead and I'm going to put that on there. So this is what I have. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these tails and I'm going to bring them around to right here, and I'm going to go through this little loop on the end. Okay, pull that tight. Then separate each tail, and making sure they are not crisscrossed, I'm going to go back through this hole this bead here. Okay, and there it is at the end. I'm going to use my plier because it is a little bit of a tight fit. And move this forward, and I'm going to get it into that crimp bead. Okay. Now that crimp bead is in there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Run it back right there. And get that crimp bead in there. Okay, so now I got my tails running through those crimp beads, and I'm just going to maneuver to get the slack out of this. I might have to do one at a time. because they're wrapped around here, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult. Let me push this down. Okay, now try to get this slack out. There we go. There we go. Just takes a little bit of maneuvering. A little bit more. Alright, I think we have accomplished it, and now I'm going to crimp them. Donezo. So now we're going in and do the trim. Crimp looks good. Crimps, I should say. There we go. You could have yourself a little ring if you wanted to. That's what it looks like. The crimps and the little workaround. Okay, so now we have that one. Now that one is a little bit bigger than the others, but I'm not at all concerned. I think I have enough. 2, 4, 6. Yes, I do have 6 beads, which I can make another one. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to continue making the little rings. Sorry, it's loud in here. The air conditioner's on. I just want to say we're going through another crimper here. This is a Euro crimper. I'm hoping we can fix it. The spring back. It's gotta go in here. Some kind of way. Right? I think I got it. A little bit. Alright, we're back in business. Let's see if I finish this crimp off. Oh, now it wants to turn off. Yeah, looks like it did. Ah, how many crimpers can Randee go through in 1 year? Actually, I guess it's been more than a year these days. I think the last one I broke was the year before. Alright, I'm just going to keep going here. Okie dokie artichokes. Here we go. So this is all I have left of the beads. For, you know, minus our little pendants and stuff. So I'm going to put that to the side. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 of these little rings. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my leather. I'm still in debate if I want to double this up. I know I said I don't want to, but maybe I do. I don't know. Yeah, let's just try it with one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put these on there, but before we do that, I'm going to get this one side ready to go first with so they don't all come flying off. So we're just going to put those to the side. So basically now I'm going to come in here with my 3mm leather. So this is pretty thick, heavy-duty leather. And I'm going to get, when you tie knots, we're going to tie some knots, you are going to lose a little bit of the length. So I'm going to get, let's see, it's about 1.5 feet. And here's what we're going to do. So this is going to be our center point, and right now I'm just going to focus on this part. So I'm going to cover this up. Hopefully that'll help my camera. Okay, so we have this piece of leather. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab onto the end here. You're going to need about 2 finger lengths of tail. Okay. You're going to wrap it around your finger. Now, normally, when people wrap something, they feel comfortable wrapping it like this, right? Forward. That's not what we're doing. You are going to wrap around like you're going to go forward, but you're not. You're going to go backwards 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of leather that we are going to tie onto. So once you have 3, you're going to just remove your finger. Okay, this one is in the back already. We're going to take that one, run it through the front. Okay, all the while holding on to these loops. Okay, now we're going to take this guy, put it in through the back, and we're just going to start to get rid of that slack. Okay, I am leaving a little bit up here, not too much, but enough. Okay, once you get it tight, you can kind of maneuver it a little more, and we're just at this point pulling it as tightly as we can, getting rid of all the slack in there, because this is what's going to hold our necklace on. So I left this little nub. Now you can leave that, or you can trim it down a little bit if you want to. It's up to you. But that is that side. Okay, so we're going to hit this with just a little smidge of glue, just for safety purposes. So right here I have some gel control Loctite. And you can also put this on before you do the leather part or whatever you got to do there. I'm just going to sneak it in some of these little holes. And let that dry. There we go. Maybe one down here on the bottom. Okay. We're going to do with the cover. Oh, here it is. And then while that's doing its thing, I'm going to start arranging my loops. So I want to do the smallest loop, I think, first, because I want this to kind of maybe not go over that knot, or not make it easy to go over the knot. Then I think I want to have a wild one, then I want to have a cream one, then I want to have one of these, then I want one of these. Put a couple of these wilder ones in there. It's really not a whole lot of rhyme or reason. I'm going to keep one of these out for the other end. But I do want to make sure, because I only have 2 of these, I want to make sure I have the same amount of loops on each side of these. So I have 3 on this side. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these 2, and then I have these guys. These 2 are the same. These 2 are the same. And that's 6. 7. Alright. So now what we're going to do is string them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this guy. 1, 2, 3, middle one. 1, 2, 3, cream one. And these are just kind of whatever. Ooh, I have 2 of these. I don't want these 2 next to each other. Do I? I don't. Let me back up a little bit. This one here. Heyo. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're cooking with gas. Pretty snazzy. Now how's this going on? Pretty good out of 10. They put the smaller ones here so that they can't escape the loop, right? Okay. So now I'm just going to grab up another piece of leather. And of course we're going to have excess leather here, but I would rather have more than not enough. Okay, let's try this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, remove your finger, stick this through the loop, going forward. Okay, and then we're just going to tighten it a little bit, and then I'm going to stick my leather in there. I'm sticking it with the tail on the outside of the necklace, just like that one is. I'm going to leave a little bit of space, and we're just starting to remove the excess. Now, let's say, before we tighten this up, let's say that you wanted these for this leather not to show. You could move the knot down and trim from there if you'd like. Now, I don't necessarily mind if they move around, and quite honestly, I might put my little animals on here. So I'm going to leave mine a little bit longer. That's a little more than I would like, so I'm going to move it down a little bit. About right there. And then we'll trim that off. Okay, so once I think I got her where I want her, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come in with the glue. And before I tighten it up, I'm going to put a little smidge of glue. Okay, all kind of around. And I'm just going to pull this back up into place. And then we're going to tighten for real. Okay, getting all the slack out of there best we can. I like to leave a little excess tail on this side because if you need it for leverage to pull tight, then you can, you know. So, whoop, there we go. We're going to close that up. And I'm going to let that dry before I start trimming anything with it. So we're almost there. Now, let me take a look at this. So I want to put my little animals on here. I mean, this is quite good the way it is, but there is an option for animals, because yes, right? Could go zebra, elephants, baby giraffes, which would look really cute. Oh, we're not in the middle. So there's an option. Okay, we also have these beads over here. This one is a bead, isn't it? Yep. This one is bead. We could go mother of pearl, zebra. It does look cute. We could then hang these guys here. Or we might even be able to hang these little giraffes on there. On these guys. And elephants on one of these. That could be cute. And then these guys up here a little bit. But if we hang these up here, they're not gonna tilt in when you have it on. So I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe these guys with the little giraffes and these guys with the elephants, because they'll be hanging more straight down like so. That could work. And we do have some tassels. I don't know if I want to do tassels. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been making this video for so long, it's like, hey, what are you doing? Let me just get rid of that. Okay, little red tassels. We could do little red tassels. Okie dokie. And then maybe we gotta run him here. This is an option. Or, boop, also an option. We could put little spacer bead here, gold. This is getting a bit long. And again, you don't have to do any of this. You you don't have to do any of this. It's not required. We could not do the mother of pearl and just do this guy. That would look cute. Quite honestly, I kind of like that. This one is a little bit, I mean, although we have all the flashiness going on, kind of clashing a little bit with my zebra, I think. So, I mean, it's a nice bead. I really like it, but I just don't think it's working into my situation here. And we have two of these little guys, which I think we would, you know, we'd have to either probably put on the elephant. No. So just put a little charm on him. Yeah, put on the elephant. Okay, and then add a couple little beads on our giraffe so they hang correctly. So that is an option if that's what you want. I don't know if that's what I want, quite honestly. I think maybe I do. I think maybe it is what I want. But before we get into any of that, let's just erase this, because this is what we have otherwise. See, now, to me, I would wear this. Oh, I know what we can do. Okay. Let me go ahead and give this a trim. Let's see, we got about this much over here. Take off that much on this side. There we go. Now, if you don't like this, put a little glue on there. Color it in with a Sharpie marker if it bothers you. That one actually might be a smidge. They're about the same. And let's give this a cut. Trim that up. Alright. Now, before we start going in with any of this, we got to finish this up. Okay. So now, let me zoom you out. So here we are. So this is quite hefty all on its own. Again, I think this one is just a smidge longer. Like, not much. Okay. And this one has a little pull mark on it. Get rid of that. And that. Okay. I'm going to push this out a little bit just to doubly make sure that this isn't going to come off of there. Alright, so there it is. Now, we got to make this sized to the way that I want to wear it. So I like to wear mine kind of short, and especially if we're going to add animals. Okay, so here's the deal. I decided to make my animals removable. I was like, oh, but I would like to wear it like this, but I would also like to wear it like that, because I'm crazy. So I'm going to make it short. I'm going to make this 18 inches because if I don't, then when I put the animals on, the animals will hang down too low for me. I got a little bit of real estate up here in the neck area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it like so, and we're going to measure. Okay. So we're going to put on some endings. So I'm going to go 8.5 inches because that's going to give us 17. Then with the additional jump rings and all that business, we'll end up at 18. So we're about here. Just making a mark with my nail. And I'm going to cut. So we did have a little bit of excess, but that's fine. When you're working with Chunky Monkey, that's the way it goes. Alright, now on to this. This is super easy. So all we're going to do for this is we are first going to, since we cut these, we're going to make sure everything's going okay there. We're going to take our endings and we're going to double check them before we glue them. Okay, do they fit in there? Yes. Does it fit in there? It's a squish. But that's probably because I cut it and made the leather. Leather's really malleable. You can work with it. Okay, that fits in there fine. Perfect. We're going to get our glue. Again, these are crimp ends, but first we're going to glue them on. We're going to go all around the side. Not too much excess on this glue here, because otherwise it's going to come popping out on you and you're going to be having a problem. Okay, so we're just going to ever so gently glue that in there. It's already drying up. Go around the other side. Watchy dodgy. Here we go. We like to party. Perfect. This one actually could have went in a little bit more, but it was already gluing before I could get it in there, but that's fine. So now, got those in there, you're going to take your chain nose. This is another wonderful reason to have this black chain nose plier from Thunderhorse Descendant. It's like $12.99. It's got this little tiny chain nose. You're going to take that. You're going to put it in the squishy part. You're going to squish. You don't have to Hercules. You've already glued. Okay? Just a little bit of squish. A little dab will do ya. You're going to flip sideways. Make sure that you're getting the same amount of pressure on each side. Okay? Same over here. Squish. Now if you get glue on your finger, don't touch the leather. It'll take the color off. And they have to color it in with Sharpie marker. Squish. Squish. Looking good. Alright. Let's get out our Old Faithful. I was going to say, let's get out our Old Faithfuls, but we do have a lobster claw that they provided. I'm going to do this lobster claw on some of my, I think I'll use that on some of my removable charms here, but as of the moment, I got to be able to find my bronze business, which is looks to be a struggle right here. I got red bronze now. That's not what we're looking for. Not what we're looking for. Okay. Gold. We're going to need some of those. Okay, what's going on? Did I take them upstairs? What's happening? Alright, well, I guess I must have put them somewhere that I don't... Put them in that safe place. You guys know that safe place that we're always talking about? And then I can't ever remember where it is. Yeah, that's where they are. Alright, well, there's one more here. Let's look in there. Ooh, close but no cigar. Alright. Well, looks like I am going to go with, this is silver. Looks like I am going to go with this guy here. I'm going to go with this guy here, just because I love an Old Faithful. I'm going to use gold jumpers. This is kind of an interesting color as well. It's like an interesting color. I bet you there's a gold Old Faithful upstairs. But who's got time to run upstairs? Not me. Okay. Pretty good out of 10. Let's get out the measuring tape. See where we are at. Now, just so you do know, leather will stretch a little bit. It's got a little bit of give, okay, once it gets warmed up with your skin and all that. But we are 18 18 on the money, so that's pretty good. So here you go. Here is your safari. You could stop here, but you don't have to. Okay, don't have to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make removable animals for my safari necklace. Okay, this is going to be cute all on its own. You're going to wear this. It's going to be 18 inches. You know, it's going to have this big chunky funky monkey things on it. It's going to be super good. Okay, but hear me out. We are going to take these guys and we are going to wire them up. And we're going to make us some removable charms. Okay, this one here. These two for this guy. Got a little bit of these guys. Okay, got the elephants. Gonna have these and these over here. Alright, here we go. Start in the middle. Let me get some wire. What are we? Mostly gold, huh? Mostly gold wire? Is that what we're doing? Oh, let's see. I just don't know how well I'm gonna. I was gonna go with this, but now I'm like, I don't know how well that's gonna go with my lobsters. I'm gonna go with this little teeny tiny wire, this 26 gauge. What else? It's fine. We'll double it up. Easy peasy. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with the zebra. I do have these little beads left. Here's what I'm going to do since I'm using this little tiny wire. I am going to double up this little tiny wire. Just because I don't have the color I need, so it is what it is. I'm going to get this bead into place. I'm going to give this bead a twist. Dun 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 dun. This is now going to act as my stopper. I'm going to take that. Oh, this has a pretty big hole in it. But yeah, let's go plug that. Plug that hole in this zebra. It's little to no showing through, so that's good. Take another one of these check glass. String it on because he also has quite a big hole in the top here. So I'm just going to fill that up with a few of these check glass. Okay, now we are pretty good. So now I'm going to put on this black one. And since I'm using this little tiny wire, I have the ability to wire wrap using some fancy stuff. Okay, I gotta make a decision. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 4, 5. I need 9. I need 9 lobster claws. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 lobster claws. Okay, and then I need some jump rings. You know what? I'm just going to wire wrap right onto them because why not? Because why not? Here we go. I could use jump rings, but I'm like, oh, that's just adding more gold colors, and quite honestly, I'm just like, no. We got enough gold colors going on here. Okay, so I am going to create a loop on the top with both wires, just acting like they're one, just pretending like 2 doesn't even exist. 2 is not even a number today. And I'm just going to wire wrap that right onto the lobster claw. Grab a hold with my chain nose. I'm going to wrap down. 2, 3, 4. Now, since I have all this excess wire, I have the ability to wrap around this flat bead as many times as I see fit. I'm kind of squishing it as I go until I get down to the bottom here around this bead. I'm going to wrap and end this guy right here. Okay. I'm going to bring those wires to the back. And I'm going to trim them. I'm going to tuck them in. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that when I hang my lobster, the lobster is going to face in, not the pointy part. Okay. But here's the thing. We're going to be hanging these on this necklace wherever we feel they deserve to be. So we actually need them to be facing sideways. Okay. Because when I hang it sideways, nothing's going to poke out at anybody. But also when I go in to hang it, then he's going to hang straight down. Okay? Easy busy. So, I don't know that I'm going to add these tassels. I don't know if I'm going to do that, which means I don't need to use 9 lobster claws, because I just don't know how I feel about the red tassels. I mean, I think they're cute, but I don't want to use a bunch of lobster claws for my tassels, because the tassels, I don't know. I'm neither here nor there with the tassels. Okay. And we're going to go again. Let's do the elephant. Let's do the elephant. Going back with this green check glass. Bring it down to the middle. Okay, twist. Come up here with your elephant. Put on this spacer bead. Come in with your fan. Okay, I'm going to be able to hook right into the middle fan. Create a loop. Again, just pretending like 2 is not a number that exists today. And I'm going to take both of those through the middle of the fan. Come on up. Wrap down. And now on this one I just wrap down and back up. No need to make no more excess tension on this one. It's got enough going on. And tuck those tails in. Now for this one I'm just going to add a jump ring and my lobster claw. Jump ring, jump ring. Use the same one that I used up on the top there. Attach to the fan and attach to the jump ring again, making sure, I'm sorry, the lobster, again, making sure that it's going sideways so that when we attach it, way to go, way to go, way to go. These ones are kind of rough. There we go. So then when we attach it, let's see. I'm going to attach it to this one. We're attaching it sideways, and it's going to hang straight. Okay, I'll do the giraffe, and then I won't make you sit through doing the other side. I'll show you those. I'll fast forward, and then the giraffe will be done. Okay, same thing. I'm going to put on check glass bead, come in half, get this guy down there, and we're going to twist. Not a whole lot of twisting, just enough to, you know, do your damage. Come in through the giraffe with both strands, plugs up the hole. You could also use a flat ball head pin if you wanted, so you didn't see the beads underneath. If that's something you want to do, completely up to you. I'm going to come here. Okay, with this one, I'm just going to attach right onto the lobster. This one is backwards, so flip it around. There we go. Come in here with the chain nose, wrap, 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 wrap back to the top. You don't have to wrap back to the top. That's a, we're going to call that a design choice. Now when he hangs, make sure your lobster is going sideways, okay? And he's hanging straight. So cute. We're going to come over here, and let's see, let's put him, we have what, 3 on this side? Let's put him on this side. Oh, I put him on there backwards. 3. Alright. So there is one side of little animals all completed. Very cute. Dig it, dig it. So now I'm going to do the other side up, and then we'll take a look at it all done. Okie dokie, here we are, all done. Sorry, my dog's barking. At what? No one knows. So here we are, all done with our removable charms. Okay, so you just connect these right onto the links that we made. So then you can wear some of them, you can wear all of them, you can wear none of them, whatever you want to do. There we go. So I'm going to flip you guys around and I'm going to put it on so you guys can see how it hangs. And yeah, so there she is. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, here we are. Here we are. So here's the necklace. Looking quite smashing. And I do have a Old Faithful clasp on here, so I'm just going to take that off. And then go up and around. So there we are. There she is. I quite enjoy it. I'm just looking in the camera. Yeah, super cute. Very chunky, very lovely, very safari. I've even got my little world on. But yeah, so then if you didn't want to wear these, you could just remove them and you could go without any of the charms. Also, another thing you could do with these lobster claws being on there is that if you wanted to, you could attach them to an earring wire. So then you could have earrings if you wanted, like a hoop. I have a lot of friends who have gauged ears, so they'll use those on a hoop. And makes it easy to still wear earrings. So here's what it looks like with no charms on it. Smashing. So now if I'm feeling charmy, I can wear charms, and if I'm not feeling charmy, I can just wear like this. Smashing. So I hope you all had a lovely time. Again, this was Safari from SoftFlex. We did use all the beads up, minus a few little tassels and a couple of those black beads, and then of course this focal bead. But we'll use that in some other thing. There's about, you know, a few little beads in here. But we were able to use up all of our SoftFlex beading wire and the whole bit. So I am quite happy with it. I hope you guys had a lovely, spectacular, amazing beading time. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe. If you are a member of the channel, thank you very much. If you're not a member, maybe you consider becoming a member, where we do bead research and history research on beads and all kinds of different types of culturally things. Culture-y things, just, you know, so when we're beading, we have symbolic reasons. So I hope you're all having a lovely, spectacular, amazing beading day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.